This video is about completing the square, writing the graphing form of a circle, and identifying the radius and center of a circle and graphing the circle. So a circle is a set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from the center. Our basic circle equation is going to look like this. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So for the center, we're going to take out the opposite sign of these numbers. So we would have hk. If they were plus signs, they would come out as negative numbers. For the radius, we need to take the square root of r squared to get r. Now, sometimes the equations are going to be in graphing form, and sometimes we're going to have to do completing the square to get them into graphing form. So notice that these equations are a little bit different from yesterday because there are two squared terms. So we're going to organize it so that the x's are together, the y's are together, and the constants are on the other side. So we're going to have x squared plus 10x plus blank. Then we're going to have the y's plus y squared plus 6y plus blank. We can move the 12 over to the other side. So we're going to have minus 18, and then we put two blanks on the left side, so we need to put two blanks on the right side. So remember to find the number in the blank. We're going to take the b value, divide by 2, and square it. So for x, 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 squared is 25. And then for y, we have 6. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So as we write our equation then, we're going to factor, so we would have x plus 5 squared for x. For y, we would have y plus 3 squared. And then equals negative 18 plus 25 plus 9, which would get us 16. So now that our equation is in graphing form, we can find our center and our radius. So the center, we're going to take out the opposite signs of the numbers in the parentheses. So negative 5, negative 3. The radius, we're going to take the square root of 16, which is 4. So in number 2, we're going to do the same thing to reorganize it. So x squared plus 16x plus blank plus y squared minus 8y plus blank. We can subtract the 10 from the other side, so that's going to give us 20, and then we need to include our two blanks. So for the x, the b value is 16. 16 divided by 2 squared is 64. So we're going to add 64 to both sides. For the y, the b value is negative 8. So negative 8 divided by 2 squared is 16. So we're going to add 16 to both sides. So now we're going to factor the sides with the x and the y. So we'd have x plus 8 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 100. So now to find our center, we're going to take out the opposite signs. So we would have negative 8, positive 4. And our radius is the square root of 100, which is 10. Now we're going to graph the circle. So in number 3, we have the equation in graphing form. So we need to figure out the center and the radius. So the center, we're going to take out the opposite sign. So we would have 3, negative 2. And the radius is the square root of 25, which is 5. So what you're going to do to graph is you're first going to plot your center at 3, negative 2. And then you are going to use the radius in 4 directions. So from the center, we're going to go up 5, right 5, down 5, and left 5. And then we're going to connect those 4 outer points in a circle. So we should have curved lines. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but it should look like a circle, not a rectangle. In number 4, instead of an equal sign, we have a less than sign. Think back to inequalities. So less than signs are going to include some type of line, either solid or dashed, and some shading. So first, let's find our basic information. We need the center, and we need the radius. So because there are no numbers with x and y, our center is going to be 0, 0. If 4 is our number, we take the square root to get 2. Make sure when the r squared value is a small number, you're still taking the square root. That's a mistake a lot of people make. So I'm going to plot the point at 0, 0. I'm going to go up 2, right 2, down 2, left 2. And I'm going to connect those 4 points. Oh, but I'm not going to connect them yet. So if it is a less than symbol means that those solutions are not included. So we are going to have a dashed circle. And then because it is less than, we are going to shade inside, because that means all the points that are smaller than the circle are solutions. So now as we look at number 4 is not in graphing form, so we're going to have to do completing the square first. So we're going to rewrite this x squared minus 10x plus blank plus y squared plus 8y plus blank equals, I'm going to move the 5 over, so negative 5, and then we have 2 blanks. So for the x blank, the b value is negative 10. Negative 2 divided by 2 squared is 25. And 8 divided by 2 squared is 16. So now we can factor the x's. So x minus 5 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 36. So now that we have our equation in graphing form, our center is going to be 5, negative 4, and our radius is going to be the square root of 36, which is 6. So we're going to go to the center 5, negative 4, place a dot, and then we're going to go 6 in each direction. So it's okay if it's a little off the graph. Okay, and then it's an equal sign, so we're going to connect it in a solid line. Okay, number 6, we again have to do completing the square, and it has an inequality symbol. So this one we're going to have to determine our line and shade. So let's reorganize. So we have x squared plus 8x plus blank plus y squared plus 6y plus blank is greater than or equal to 56 plus blank plus blank. So for x, the b value is 8. 8 divided by 2 squared is 16. So we put 16 on both sides. For y, we have 6. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9 on both sides. So we factor on the left side. So we would have x plus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared is greater than or equal to 81. So now that we're in graphing form, we can get our center and our radius. So our center is negative 4, negative 3. Our radius is the square root of 81, which is 9. So we can plot those points, negative 4, negative 3. We can go up 9, right 9, down 9, so we're going to go off the graph a little bit, and left 9, so we're also going to go off the graph a little bit. Now, because it is a greater than or equal to, because of the bar underneath, it is a solid line because we're including the points on the circle, and because it's greater, we are going to shade outside. So we're going to connect this as a big circle. And then we're going to shade outside. In number 7 and number 8, we want to write the equation of the circle. So in number 7, we have a center at negative 2, 0, and a radius of 9. So we would have x plus 2 squared, because there's no y coordinate, we leave it as y squared, equals 9 squared, which is 81. In number 8, we don't have the radius yet, so we need to do distance formula first. So we're going to have 6 minus 4 squared plus 5 minus negative 2 squared So that gets us 4 plus 49, which is the square root of 53. So when we go to write our equation, we have x minus 6 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals square root of 53 squared, which would just be 53 because the square root would cancel out. So the unit circle is a circle that is centered at 0, 0 and has a radius of 1. So based on what's happening, we will move a circle left, right, up, or down, and we have a dilation based on how much the radius changes. So in number 9, if we have a dilation by a factor of 3, that means we have 1 times 3, which makes the radius 3. If we went right 4 and down 7, that means we move 4 positively and 7 negatively. So now we can write our equation, x minus 4 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 9. So in 10, we're going to go the opposite way. So here our center is 2, 5, and our radius is the square root of 4, which is 2, which means we translate 2 right and 5 up, and then we dilated by 2.